أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله اللهم ربه وجدتنا صلاة الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Amma ba'd, all praises are due to Allah. We thank and praise Him. We believe and testify that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah alone without a partner, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is His handpicked messenger. May the peace, mercy, and blessing of Allah be upon Rasulullah, his family, and whoever follows him towards righteousness until the day of Qiyamah. Amma ba'd, ibadallah, the khutbah today, the reminder today is about the long-awaited guest that we've been waiting for 365 days ago. Now is only less than 10 days away. And of course, everyone knows that's Ramadan. But the khutbah today is not about Ramadan in itself, but how do we prepare in entering into Ramadan. It's like a battlefield. You don't get inside the battlefield and start preparing. Prepare for the battle before entering. Allah said to the Prophet, when they were being prepared for the battle, different battlefields during the time of the Prophet, وَأَدُّوا لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Prepare for them, or prepare for the battle as much as you can, with force, with all the necessities. Now Ramadan, entering into Ramadan could be like entering into a battlefield. But the question is, who's the enemy? This month of mercy, month of Quran, month of forgiveness, month of charity, a month wherein the shayateens are in chains. So who is the enemy in this case? How can the enemy be inside? Unfortunately, the enemy is within. The enemy is within. And if we do not fight this enemy entering Ramadan, we will realize we've entered Ramadan and it's Eid today. I have not accomplished anything spiritually. Now, who is the enemy? It's the heart. Is your heart ready for Ramadan? Are you prepared for Ramadan? The heart should be empty of everything except Allah before entering into Ramadan. Is it clean? Are you preparing sincerely to earn that degree that will earn you Jannah? Piety. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Fasting has been prescribed upon you as it has been done before to other generations, so that you can be conscious of Allah. You can have piety. You can fear Allah. You can have a fuel, you can have the fuel that you need to take you on for another Ramadan. You can be prepared so that if death comes before another Ramadan, you would have been already prepared. So the heart should be empty of everything except Allah. There is so much garbage, and the amount of garbage in our hearts depends on the individual. How much of garbage is in my heart that I need to take, so that I take out, so that I am prepared for Ramadan? On your mark, set, go. On your mark, set, go. So if at all people are being told, on your mark, set, go, and you're actually preparing what to put on, you will definitely fail. Yeah. Inshallah, Ramadan might be maybe Friday or Saturday. So we have a week to prepare. We could have even prepared 6 months ago, because the Sahabi would prepare for Ramadan 6 months before Ramadan. And they would start crying over the departure of Ramadan as soon as it's finished for 6 months. Then 6 months towards Ramadan, they're looking forward to Ramadan. If that has not been the case, we have about 6 days to prepare for this day. Let's empty our hearts of all rancor, of all hatred. Let us prepare ourselves. Let us remember the expression that time is money. And we actually deny that fact. Time is not money. Time is more than money. When you lose money, you can get it back or even more. I've just lost 100 pounds. You might have 200 pounds next week. But if you lose a day, it's gone and it will never come back. And that single day will talk in your favor, will defend you or go against you in the court of Allah. A single day in Ramadan, when missed, you wouldn't be able to have it for the rest of your life. No wonder there is a narration that says that if you miss one day of fasting intentionally, even if you fast for the rest of your life, you will not be able to make it up. If you intentionally decide not to fast, you make it up by fasting one day. You have just made it up. If at all it's your intention. You have, it is a sin, a grave sin for that matter. But then you only have to fast a day. But after fasting that day, know that you have fasted a day that is outside Ramadan in making up that day. So come next Ramadan, every day of that Ramadan belongs to that day. So continue for fasting for the rest of your life. You wouldn't be able to make up that day. So if you waste an hour in Ramadan, you will not be able to make up that hour for the rest of your life. Ramadan is not only to avoid food and drink. If it's only limited to that and you can say or do whatever you like, then the Prophet said Allah is not in need of your food or you keeping away from food and drink. It is more to that. You have to fast. It has to be body, mind, and soul. Your body, your mind, and your soul. Bodily fasting and spiritual fasting. And this has to be prepared before we get there. No wonder this month called Shaban is called the month of those who recite the Quran. Because this is when they start the preparation for the big battle. This is when they start reciting the Quran. If I ask you, how much Quran do you want to read in Ramadan? If you say, I want to finish the Quran every 3 days, then start now. You can't wait until you say yourself in Ramadan, today is Ramadan, now I'll start the Quran. No, start preparing for the battle before it starts. Start reciting now. How much dhikr, how much adhkar, how much of remembrance do you want to do in Ramadan? A lot. Then start now. Do you want to backbite anyone in Ramadan? No, then start now. Do you want to commit any sin in Ramadan? No, then start now. So that come Ramadan, you will be in full swing. When was the last time you performed Qiyamul Layl, praying at night? Or it was a long time ago. Start now. How much of the Quran do you know? Nothing. Start now. Start everything now. So first and foremost, empty your heart from everything except Allah. Because Allah is very jealous. Ya Allah kufirla. And the only place for Allah is the heart. If Allah comes and finds something in there, it wouldn't enter. And if anything finds him in your heart, he goes away. Forget about everything. If at all if at all what is depriving me from serving Allah is my wealth, when death comes, the wealth will be here and I'll be in Barzakh. So whatever is stopping you, if you die, that will not stop you from dying. That will still be here. And you're gone. But the fact of the matter is, we can sugarcoat it anyhow we like. How many people were here last Ramadan? They're not here this time around. Where are they? In Barzakh. We are being opportuned. We are very lucky. A Sahabi passed on in the battlefield. After 1 year, another one passed on. One of the Sahabis saw in a dream that the one who passed on the following year entered Jannah before this one, even though both of them entered. He went to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, I saw this Sahabi enter Jannah before the one that even died in jihad. The simple answer the Prophet said to him was, did he not live another year and witness another Ramadan? So by virtue of living an extra year, we are being lucky because we have an opportunity to serve Allah. We have an opportunity to have the reward of Laylatul Qadr. But it depends on how we spend our time. All of us, insha'Allah, we wish and pray that we witness Ramadan, insha'Allah. Allahumma balighna Ramadan. May Allah make us be here in Ramadan, during Ramadan, throughout Ramadan, and accept every ibadah on our behalf. Because the fact of the matter is, as I'm speaking right now, from now on until Friday or Saturday, the day of Ramadan, thousands of Muslims will pass on, if not even a million, worldwide. Who is telling us we are an exception? So we thank Allah we have reached this far, but we are still praying, Allahumma balighna Ramadan. And if we start Ramadan, not everyone will end Ramadan. Some of the Muslims would pass on during the first 10 days of Ramadan. Every day of Ramadan, a Muslim will leave this world. And there is no guarantee that we are going to finish. We're praying to Allah, but we don't know what the future holds. So whatever you can do today, do not live for tomorrow. If only is a good thing to be done. Ku kendo nisa kenobi, kana batu samaye. Lina muna defte, bulko kharal elik. Let's be prepared for this day. Let's be prepared for this battle. Now, what is the battle? Let us fight our desire. It is the desire that I followed, so that I spend every time that I have, that is very valuable, in social media, in any form. That could be watching TV, that could be watching football, that could be watching a movie, that could be being on TikTok, that could be on Facebook, that could be doing anything that is wasting my time other than reading the Quran. Imagine Imam Malik rahimahullah. Imam Malik, who actually sort of inherited knowledge of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Masjidun Nabawi, teaching hadith. Imam Malik during Ramadan would put the lectures of hadith and concentrate in Quran. Because Ramadan has a lot of connection with Quran. The only time Allah mentioned Ramadan in the Quran, Allah actually was introducing Quran. Allah was not even talking about fasting when he mentioned Ramadan in the Quran. What did he say? Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran was revealed. Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months of worship. What has given Laylatul Qadr that degree is Quran. Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. We have sent it down. What have we sent down? The Quran. When? During the night of degree. Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr is better than 1,000 years or 1,000 months of ibadah that is accepted. It's not equivalent, it is better. Why is it better? Because we send the Quran in that month. Jibril will come to the Prophet to recite the Quran to the Prophet. The whole Quran in Ramadan. During his last year, his last Ramadan, it was recited to him twice. Even though Allah said to the Prophet, "Sanuqri'uka fala tansa," we will teach you the Quran, you will never forget. Jibril didn't come because the Prophet forgot. He came because it was the month of Quran. It has a lot of connection. Let's go to the hadith of the Prophet, wherein he said fasting and Quran. Look at the connection. He said fasting and Quran will intercede for the servant until they are forgiven. Look at the brothers. Fasting, Ramadan, or fasting, and Quran, they would intercede. They would stand for the individual that has performed them until he is forgiven. Ramadan will come and say, fasting will come. Ya Allah, I prevented him from food and drink and following his lustful desire. Please accept my intercession on his behalf. Allah said, I have forgiven him based on that. And Quran will come. Ya Allah, I prevented him from sleeping during the night because he actually burnt the candle reciting me throughout the night. What did Allah say about the Quran? Wal Quran al-Fajr. Inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. Allah is actually encouraging us to recite Quran at Fajr, at dawn, at night. The best time to recite Quran is at night when you stand up in Qiyamul Layl. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the nobility of the believer is in standing up at night praying. If you are not prepared for Ramadan, you cannot even make up the Taraweeh. You can't make it up. But if you are prepared, if you say to yourself, I should be waking up every night to perform Taraweeh Salah, Qiyamul Layl, Tahajjud Salah, whether we're in Ramadan or outside Ramadan, then if you are in Ramadan, you'll be in full swing. Otherwise, after breaking your fast, then you have a problem. After breaking the fast. Oh, I'm so full up, I cannot pray now. By the time you realize it's even time for Fajr. And unfortunately, a month that is meant to be for hunger is actually is actually now being practicalized or utilized for eating too much. What comes to your mind when we talk about Ramadan? Fasting, not eating. But if you weigh the balance between iftar and suhoor, the amount of food we eat might be bigger or more than outside Ramadan. And when you eat too much, of course, there will be a problem. You sleep too much. You waste a lot of time. And by the time you realize it's gone. So let's prepare for Ramadan by emptying the heart and engage in dhikr, the remembrance of Allah. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Is it not in the remembrance of Allah, dhikrullah, that the hearts find satisfaction? And the greatest form of dhikr is reciting Quran. Last Ramadan, this is what I have covered with Quran. This Ramadan, how much am I ready to cover? Some people realize they accidentally see themselves in Ramadan and they couldn't even finish the whole Quran. For those who can recite. If I'm not able to recite the Quran, I could have started from now on and said, come next Ramadan, I'll be able to open the book and read. Until then, whatever little I know of the Quran, I will read. فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. It's the month of Quran. Start your day with Quran. Whatever you do, have Quran at the back of your mind. Remember what the Prophet said, or Allah said in Hadith Qudsi, that Allah has his own people. Ahlullah. Allah lakafomol. Among the people, Allah has his own people. Allah chibir ni Allah dafa am ay niti bopam. And the hadith did not only say the people of Allah. He said, Ahlullahi wa khasatu. Allah's people and his special ones. Allah's VIP. And who are they? Ahlul Quran. Those are the people of Quran. Because everything here is created by Allah. Except the Quran is the word of Allah. No wonder it is said that if people, Allah said, if people have no time for dhikrullah or making dua, invocation, asking favors from Allah, due to their preoccupation with the Quran, I will give them more. The one reciting the Quran, Allah said, I'll give him more than the one making dua. And I'll give him more than the one making dhikr. Why? Because the superiority of the word of Allah, which is the Quran, over all the words, which is the dhikr and dua, is like the superiority of Allah over the entire creation. If someone goes, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, this is not the word of the magician. It's not the word of the sorcerer. This is the word of Allah. So if someone goes, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and I'm here saying, Mario Makoy, Ya Allah Dimbalema, Allah said, I will give the one saying, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, more than the one asking. Why, Ya Allah? Because this is the word of Allah, and this is the word coming from your tongue. The superiority of my word over this is like the superiority of me over you. So let us not lag behind. The little that you know of the Quran, say to yourself, this Ramadan, I will make sure I stick to it. But our greatest challenge, like I said, is our time. There is a lot that we can achieve during the day. But even before Ramadan, you can assure yourself that if I'm not careful, it will all go to social media. You can just be sitting right now and destroy 1 hour of your time just by looking at your mobile. And towards the end, if you ask yourself, what have I achieved? From one, and it's so automatic. And of course, so interesting. From one stage to another. And you are engaged so much so that by the time you realize, the time is gone. You're actually saying, I'm passing time. And when you say that I'm passing time, say to yourself, I'm losing time. And I'm losing reward. So let's be prepared. Empty all our hearts. After emptying all our hearts, engage in dhikrullah in all forms. Salawat upon the Prophet. And most importantly right now, you want to go inside Ramadan with a very clean sheet. How do you do that? Turn to Allah in repentance. Make tawbah. I want to start Ramadan with a clean heart. So make a lot of istighfar. And everything that you are engaged in right now in preparation for Ramadan, accelerate it while you are in Ramadan. If I'm reading Quran every week before Ramadan, inside Ramadan is going to be every 3 days. If I'm saying istighfar 100 times at least, in Ramadan I'm going to do it 1,000 times. Whatever I am doing, I would do 100% that inside Ramadan. Because an action in Ramadan is rewarded 70 times more than an action outside Ramadan. When Subhanallah is rewarded 10 times, by just saying Subhanallah, in Ramadan when you say Subhanallah is 70 times. If you spend £1, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, I'll replace it with what? With 10 pounds. Or 700 pounds. Or even a million. Wallahu yudaifu liman yasha. But be rest assured that if at all you're earning 10 pounds outside Ramadan, inside Ramadan it's going to be 10 by 10, 100. 700 by 10, 7,000 inside Ramadan. Why waste this time? Because Shaitan knows, he knows that this is good for you. Of course, when Ramadan comes, the Prophet ﷺ said, the gates of Jannah are open, the gates of Jahannam are closed. وَصُفِّدَتِ الشَّيَاطِينَ The shayateen are in chains. Not all of them, but the harsh and the criminals, the most powerful ones. So you have the small ones around, and you have the substitute of shaitan. That's your desire. Inna nafsala ammaratun bisu illa man rahima rabbi. The heart inclines to evil, except the person who earns the mercy of Allah. The soul inclines to evil. Am na ki nga xamne musiba bim duga buga ma ko fa dugal. Do bi jaya fanje masibo min kono ala ni da wala noma shaitan le. Shaitan could be in chains, but I've followed my desires and I've wasted every time. And the Prophet said, because Allah doesn't want us to be hungry. Ramadan is not only about hunger. The hunger and thirst is there to test our iman, because it's an act of worship. But if at all I am hungry because of fasting, because fasting is abstinence. So means abstinence. No wonder Allah said, "Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun," as it has been prescribed upon people before you. So people before us used to fast in different form, like Maryam fasted. But how did she do that? She abstained from what? When she was asked about Isa ibn Maryam, her daughter, her son Isa, he said, "I have taken a vow. Inni nazartu lirrahmani sawma." I have taken a vow with Allah to abstain Sawm, to fast, to abstain. What's the abstinence? Falan ukallima al-yawma insiya. I'm not going to talk. That's my fasting. So that's abstinence. So our fasting is, what do we abstain from? Food, drink, cohabitation, and evil. No wonder the prophet said, whoever does not stop falsehood and its application and every form of evil that comes with that, then Allah is not in need of you avoiding food and drink. So here the prophet is actually talking about spiritual fasting. We have to, when we fast, so that nothing enter our mouth in terms of food and drink, then we should fast so that we don't look at haram, we don't listen to haram, we don't talk about haram, we don't take a pathway towards haram. Then we are spiritually fasting. There's a very pious man, a Mauritanian, he passed on, rahimahullah. He actually left the whole of the city and went to the village and outlived 100 years. He became a centenarian. He is only engaged in Quran and teaching. It doesn't matter who you are and what knowledge you're seeking. He would teach all of you on the floor in the same humble environment. If you're starting with Alif, you're going to sit in the same place. If you're learning your doctorates, he's going to teach you in the same place. One day a horse passes, and one of the students spoke about the horse. He was so angry and said to him, I left the whole city. I left the whole city of Mauritania just to avoid talking about people. And you're here talking about a horse. I don't want this in this environment. And those that lived with him, some swore that for 70 years they've never heard him say one single evil word towards anyone. Because this is a major sin. This is a major sin. And we are into this on a regular basis. This is an opportunity. When the Prophet said that, Ya Rasulullah, he entered Jannah before the one that died the following year entered Jannah, before the one that passed on the path of Allah. He said, did he not witness another Ramadan? So we have an opportunity, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, to witness another Ramadan. Start now. Start now. If I told you very much given to charity, start now and do the most in Ramadan. Dhikr, start now, do the most in Ramadan. Everything that comes with it, start now and do the most in Ramadan. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. اللهم صل على محمد الذي نصر الدين وحب المساكين وكفل اليتيم وهدى إلى صراط مستقيم. أما بعد عباد الله, like I said, of course, after giving up evil, clearing the heart, preparing for Ramadan, engage in Quran, dhikrullah, spending. It is said that the Prophet is the most generous, but in Ramadan his generosity even increases. And he took an oath by Allah that when you give, that will never decrease your wealth. He said to his wife, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that give generously. You just give generously for the sake of Allah. Of Allah, Allah promised he will replace whatever you have given. People are tested at different angles. When we fast, we're thinking about iftar. We don't even think about what to buy because food is there. If you are very busy, you just go and order the food and it's there. The poorest man in UK would at least have milk to drink. Okay. Less than a pound, you can have a bread that can even serve you for 2 days. But back home where we came from in Gambia and elsewhere, not only Gambia, but anywhere that people are starving from, but back home where we came from in Gambia, already people are worrying about what to eat and it's not Ramadan yet. Not because, contrary to what I said at the first part of the khutbah, not because they're concentrating more on the food. The bottom line is there's no food to eat. They don't have the means. There is no way out. They're now thinking day in, day out, what should I do for Ramadan? And they will make do with what is available. For some, it's going to be luxury for them to have milk in their tea. For some, it's going to be luxury for them to have butter in their bread. And for some, if they eat meat, they have gone outside elsewhere to eat meat, or there's an occasion. And all of this we can have just like that. If we want, we can eat meat every day and throw the rest. Every day. Whatever the rich, the multi-millionaire can eat right now, you can eat. Because there is no section at Tesco or Sainsbury's or elsewhere wherein it says section for the millionaires. So where are they getting their shoppings from? They're all going to the same supermarkets. So whatever they can buy, you can buy. Dunia nyonda manfea. So how have they surpassed us? Whatever they can buy, you can buy, and you would even have to pick what to buy. You don't get what they get because you wouldn't go and buy alcohol. Maybe you don't like baked beans and it might be their favorite. Fatabarakallah. So we are being privileged by Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let us make hay while the sun shines. There is someone who didn't have much time to read the Quran because he's going out there to look for food to bring out before iftar. You're actually waiting the whole day to eat because it's already there. So whilst you're standing, remember Allah. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. This act of worship, this act of ibadah is something that you can do wherever you are, apart from being in the toilet. That is zikrullah. Allah said those who remember Allah while sitting, reclining, we're sitting, standing, reclining, and they ponder over the creation of Allah. Even there's a hadith of the Prophet wherein he said, the highest place in Jannah awaits those who lie on their comfortable beds, comfortable mattresses and pillows, remembering Allah until they are overtaken by sleep. You have some people who have TV in their bedroom. Because I'm so rich, I need TV everywhere. Now I'll be watching TV until I'm overtaken by sleep. And the Prophet said, a highest place in Jannah awaits someone who is actually lying down. And what takes him to sleep is zikrullah. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innal qulub. He would make zikr until he falls asleep. Another one will be on his phone until the phone drops. Another one will be watching TV. Another one will be backbiting. So let us compete. Remember, this is a battle. Fight your desire. When the shayateen are in chains, the desire is there. And the impact of shaitan 265 days is there. Because if you put the heating on and switch it off after 2 hours, it will still be hot, even though it's been switched off. The shayateen are in chains, but their effect is still here. So let's make the most of Ramadan. It's around the corner. There are two reasons. When do we fast? We fast on seeing the crescent moon. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. If at all it's been sighted and it's not seen, then we complete Savan to 30, then start fasting. Allah did it is not said that if you see the moon. If that is the case, ask yourself, for the years that you have been fasting, how many times did you see the moon? How many times did you see the crescent? If it's one, why did you fast the other maybe 30 or 40 years? Because I'm told it's been seen. That's what the Prophet said. If you're told it's been seen, even by one person who believes in Allah, you trust his Islam, you judge what is outside, what's inside, you live with Allah, then you fast. So the Prophet said, fast by seeing it and stop fasting, or break your fast by seeing it. That is the crescent of the new moon of Ramadan. Fatabarakallah. Once it's done, then you start fasting. Make sure you make your intention. And remember, when it said that tomorrow is Ramadan, say to yourself, I will never miss on my nawafil salah. Because man qama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. The Prophet said, whoever stands in salah every night of Ramadan, with faith and expecting reward from Allah, all his past sins are forgiven. So if you miss out one nawafil salah, you're actually affecting that saying of the hadith. Say to yourself, nafil anta wa baila. I will accelerate on it, but at least I will do what I'm supposed to do. imanan wahtisaba. And make your intention. Every night make your intention that you will be fasting tomorrow. Or the other version is at the beginning of Ramadan. If tomorrow is Ramadan, make the intention that you will fast the whole Ramadan. If for whatever reason there is a break, then renew your intention again. But if you don't make that intention, or you don't make an intention every night, you have just eaten but you've not fasted. Like we went to bed today, I overslept. In the morning time, someone told me today is Ramadan. I cannot fast. I didn't make my intention. If it was Sunnah fasting, I could have made my intention there and then. With Sunnah fasting, you can make your intention even after Fajr. The Prophet will come to the house and say, what is there to be eaten? He'll be told, Ya Rasulullah, there is nothing. Then he said, now I'm fasting. Because there was nothing in the stomach. But with Ramadan, you make your intention before Fajr, at dawn. May Allah make it easy for us, inshallah. Like I said, let's remember those that are in need and help them. And of course, we are actually helping ourselves. If you give anyone something to break his fast, whatever reward he has, you will have, and that will not diminish anything from your reward. Don't say, I don't have anything. Whatever little you have, if you give it, Allah Azza wa Jalla will accept. Someone said, Ya Rasulullah, how about if you don't have? He said, even if you give them water to break their fast, you will still have the same reward. So let's help them. Let's focus. Don't waste anyone's time, and do not let anyone waste your time. And people are good at different things. There's someone who is very good at zikr. Okay, if you are very good at zikr, make sure you stick to it. Someone is very good at Quran. Stick to it. So do everything and accelerate on what you're best at. Whatever you're good at, do more of it. I'm very good at Salah at night. Do more of it. Very good at Quran. Do more of it. But do a bit of everything and concentrate more on what you're good at for the sake of Allah. However good these things are, if at all it's not for the sake of Allah, it will be rejected. Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa barik lana fi ma atayt, wa qina wasrif anna sharra ma qadayt, fa innaka taqdi wa la yuqda alayk, innahu la yadhillu man walayta wa la ya'izzu man adayt, tabarakta rabbana wa ta'alayt, nastaghfiruka min kulli dhanbin wa natubu ilayk. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan, Allahumma ballighna Ramadan, Allahumma ballighna Ramadan, اللهم بلغنا رمضان. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم، تب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم، واغفر لنا وارحمنا انك انت الغفور الرحيم. ان الله يأمر بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني اذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. اقم الصلاة.